The Road to Paradise Gold Coast training series is brought to you by the Running Centre. Whether it's the latest shoes, nutrition gear, or their personalised biofit process to help pick the right shoe for you, the experts at TRC are the ones to trust to help you achieve your running goals. Use code WALT15 for 15% off your purchase via the TRC online store, excluding electronics and nutrition. The Running Centre. Let's move together.
This episode is brought to you by Bix Nutrition and Hydration and the newly established Reach PB Sports. Bix products deliver the perfect balance of carbohydrates, electrolytes, and micronutrients with a light, clean, natural taste ideal for endurance training, racing, and recovery. Reach products give you what it takes to push beyond your reach over and over again, setting new benchmarks, breaking them over and over again, redefining and reinventing your limits with the essential nutrition you need to reach higher. Use code WARP for 20% off your next order of Bix and Reach products. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Road to Paradise. We are recording Wednesday, 25th of June, and we have 11 sleeps until Christmas in July, aka the Gold Coast Marathon. Massive kudos to you, all of you, the listeners, for following along. Our athletes have been training hard and are now firmly in their taper as we approach race day next Sunday, 6th of July. Let's get straight into introductions. So we've got someone who's the dog runs are back in full force, pushing 170k weeks with doubles most days. His running has reached new levels under the guidance of Matt Ramsden, head chef and the grandmaster of aura farming. Karlos Aquino, how are you?
Yes, boss. I'm good. We've been cooking, so yeah, it's time to cook. 11 days time. Go.
Yeah. Would you mind explaining aura farming for those of us who don't know what that is?
So aura farming is you're trying to farm the swag. It's all about swagger, and I've just been trying to get my confidence up because it's almost race time, so you got to get that aura in check,
For sure. And I've noticed that the recent hashtag has been aura maxing on your Instagram.
Yep. We're maxing it out. Instead of VO2 max, we're going aura max.
Awesome. So, love it.
That's it.
Fantastic,
Confidence.
Mate. Good to hear. Our next athlete, a monster long run session last Saturday, doing insanity laps around Gallup in the pouring rain, what looked like alternating kilometres that progressively got quicker. She's also been tempting fate by bombing hills with young Sophia in the pram. Rosie Sperling, welcome back to Road to Gold Coast.
Thank you. If only the Gold Coast Marathon was downhill. Me and Sophia would just be happy. But no, good to be here and good to be reporting that I'm running.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll get into that a little bit later. Someone we might have to start calling the Oracle, given all the knowledge that you shared with the group last episode, the ever-consistent Lauren French. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
It's great to have you, Loz. And some recent sweat testing with Gabby Veer at Intensite Fit have revealed this bloke to be a very sweaty, salty boy. A possible explanation for the past marathon performances, and then perhaps you might have unlocked the key to the mythical sub-3 marathon. Simon Pham, welcome back.
Ahoy, Christopher. Ahoy, everyone else. It's added to the maranoia, actually. So we'll see how much salt I need to consume for marathon day. I've got the Precision 1500. I've just bought that the other day, and trying to work out what the magic formula is to get rid of my cramping. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, very good. I'll probably tap into that a little bit more later. In fact, why not? We can go through it now. So, I mean, we've all made it to taper now. Seemingly no issues. I think you had a bit of a hiccup a couple of weeks back, Rosie, and from what I'm hearing prior to the record, Loz seems to have picked up a bit of a cough, but I'd love to hear about the training from everyone over the past few weeks, how the workouts have gone, which ones have gone poorly, and maybe how this has affected your mindset or your goal setting ahead of the race. I think we covered nutrition pretty heavily in the last episode, both training and recovery-wise. So if there's any new discoveries that you guys have made in the past few weeks, we'd love to hear them. Simon, I'll get started with you. We're talking about, your sweating problem. Look, it's highlighted, your need to effectively become amphibious ahead of this race. what is the nutrition and hydration plan looking like for you on race day?
Yeah, I mean, since the sweat test the other week, there's been a bit of reflection as to how I tackle this race. I think I was very cocky heading into last week, but after the results, it's kind of made me doubt myself slightly. So it's probably not been good for the maranoia. I think in my current maranoia state with 11 days to go, I think I've come to the realization that, look, it's good information to know that I am a heavy sweater and a heavy salty person. But I think I'll just do incremental changes. There's no point me making any drastic moves because I've not practiced with this fluid intake to replenish the salt or sweat loss. So I guess I'm more conscious about it. So I'm more intentional about it, but I'm not going to make any drastic changes. So for the last couple of days, I've been testing sort of carrying the 2 flasks with me and getting comfortable with that. I'll do it again tomorrow for our strength interval workout around Gallup. Other than that, yeah, I think I'll just go into it like I have been for the last couple of weeks. So incremental changes, it's good information to know for future marathons, but with only 11 days to go, it won't be too drastic. So my game plan is I'll hold the 2 flasks on race day. I'll chuck these Precision 1500 salt tablet mixes into my drinks. I'll stick with the Bix gels because it's got the sodium in it. So that'll cover the sodium down pack. I will increase my sodium intake in the lead up, but I'm not going to drink the 1.6 liters that Gabby recommended the morning of the marathon. I feel like after Saturday's test run with that, it probably won't work well for me on marathon morning.
As someone who has overloaded on the water before a race, it is very uncomfortable. So I feel your pain in that workout. It's like having a big volleyball bouncing around inside your stomach for 10 kilometers. It's not great.
I think Loz saw a bit of my reaction in the opposite direction as she was like zooming past. Yeah, it was a rough time. It was a rough time. Yeah. And the pouring rain didn't help as well. So I think I did try the hyperhydration protocol this morning actually, and I timed it 3 hours before my actual run, which is what Gabby actually recommends, and it was okay. I didn't load up on the 1.6 liters. I did like half of that, and it was okay. Sure. So whether or not I do it on marathon day, I'm sort of umming and ahhing about it at the moment. But I think, it's so easy to, I guess, overthink these sort of tests, and it kind of throws your confidence a little bit. So I'm trying not to get it to my head too much. So I'll make some incremental changes, but it's probably more the next marathon that I'll take on her recommendations fully.
Yeah, cool. I mean, so you mentioned confidence there, and you mentioned you kind of riding the wave, so to speak, for a while there. There was a lot of talk about carrots for a few weeks, and apparently not carrying any more bags of sand. So putting aside all the stuff with Gabby and having all the workouts that you've done to date, and like, what have you been discussing with Tina? I know you had some discussions a couple of weeks ago, and things might have shifted since then because you did have like a workout which you probably blew everything out of the water. So have things changed for you in the past couple of weeks?
Probably not since my last chat with Tina. I think it's kind of cemented more or less the same. I have contemplated what an A goal is. So look, Tina 3 weeks ago said that I'm in 252 shape, low 252 shape on a really good day, which was very surprising. That is more or less 405 per K, or a little bit under that. I feel like that's probably a perfect day, and if I went out at 405, I'd get that, but that's not my game plan going into it. So if we are going A, B, C goals now, currently I'm thinking C goal is obviously sub 3, so 259.59. My B goal, which is actually realistically what I think I'll do, is I'll go out at 407, 408 pace for 30 Ks. And if I feel amazing, I'll push on. And if I push on, my A goal race might be a 2:53:30 is what I'm thinking at the moment. And if I go out at 4:07, 4:08 and I feel shit at 30 Ks, or I start feeling those cramps, I think it means that I can, well, hopefully I can get away with 4:32 pace for the last 12 Ks to get me under 3 hours. So that's nice. My ABC.
Okay, so B is effectively go out and not aggressively,
consistently.
Consistently, and then the word is escaping me, but you don't have a time goal for B goal. It's effectively go out, try and execute the 408s. If you execute the 408s, that lands you a 255, 256?
Yeah, 255. 407s to 408s lands me at 255. I'm sort of making the assumption that I'm going to run 42.5 Ks.
Conservatively is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
No, that's great, mate. I'm very confident that you'll get there. As long as you don't spend a minute or two in the toilet for that seagull, we should be okay. So I think the other thing I wanted to touch on, because you weren't in the episode last time, you found out from Sam at the running centre that your feet aren't all that fat, like you might have suspected. It just happens to be that you've been looking for a glass slipper all of your life. What shoes are you going to be wearing on race day, mate?
So I went to TRC again recently. I'm trying to think when, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I ended up purchasing the Deviate Nitro Elite 3s. So that will be my race shoe. So I wore that, I think, that Thursday for the short interval workout around Gallop. And then I wore it again for the alternating K session that following Saturday, and felt $1 million. So that's going to be the shoe. Originally, it was going to be the On Cloud Boom Strike, but I had issues with the heel of that, and it is quite firm. So mindful that my form will get quite sloppy after 30 Ks. It didn't feel like it was the shoe for me, but the Deviate Nitro Elites seem to be a winner. So that is the go-to shoe on race day.
Fantastic. And any other bit of gear that you have picked up in the last little while that you think is critical to race day?
Last week I bought the Naked running belt. So that's going to be housing my second flask. So I went on a couple of runs with that this week, and because of how tight fitting it is, it's really good. So there's not much bounce on that flask. So I'll wear that again tomorrow just to be comfortable at running at pace with that belt on, and with 500 mil. That's what I've got planned. I've got the Nike half tight gang. And then I've bought the Shiyu socks, and I wore that to the alternating K workout a couple of weeks back, and that felt really comfortable as well. So I've got basically the lower half of my body down packed.
Yeah, and I think Vlad has some parcels arriving for us early next week, which should sort out the top half. So that's exciting. Yeah, awesome, Si. That's great, mate. Sounds like you've got it all figured out. So
Yep.
Yeah, we'll touch base again toward the end of the episode with a couple of other little bits and pieces. Loz, last episode we talked about your wins at Joondalup and HBF, but I guess following Todd Ingram's passing, and it's probably been a very emotional couple of weeks for the Team Tina crew. Has the significance of that HBF win become more special for you in that time?
Oh yeah, definitely. I do think a lot about what's happened recently and what going through the pain and the sadness. But I'm using that in a positive way right now, and I wear that MND shirt out quite recently, out running along a river that I ran in HBF, and I just it's really driven me even harder, to be honest. So when things get tough, you just have to think about the ideas that Todd had, and I actually listened to the re-release that Erwin put up another podcast, but okay, sharing that he has this podcast,
Yep.
Stimulate podcast, and he put it up, and I listened to that yesterday, and it was the second time I listened to it. It was an interview with Todd, and it just really hit me, some of the his ways. So yeah, definitely has, Chris, driven me even harder to now achieve my goal next Sunday.
Yeah. Awesome. No, that's great. I mean, I noticed in your workout over the weekend, I think you did a 3x5K, and you averaged 3:48, something like that. But I did notice that you put in self-talk there as one of those kind of little notes in your run. And I take it that is something to do with Todd and some of his philosophies and kind of mindset ways of kind of motivating oneself, in the hard parts of a workout or a race.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's where the as the 1%ers, the little parts of the marathon now will really, you can really draw on the mind. And obviously the body has to be in its best shape it can be. However, we get to that start line, all of us, and we've done everything we can to be in the best shape, and we're lucky to be on the start line. So I'm just reminding myself that, and despite we're all maranoia, we're all a bit worried, but at the end of the day, we'll be on that start line and we'll all give it our best. So I really think that's something to draw on and get the best out of ourselves.
Yeah. No, we're all incredibly fortunate to be doing what we're doing. So yeah, I mentioned that workout 3x5K at 3:48. A quick calculation puts that to a 2:40 marathon. If we're talking about that as marathon pace. Now you've probably been chasing that 2:40 for a couple of years. I think you ran a 2:44 at Shizuoka, and also a 2:44 at Gold Coast, if I'm not mistaken. So you've been there or thereabouts. What are your goals for this race, Loz? Are you kind of going all in on the 2:40, or is there something in between?
I think something in between. I mean, deep down, that would be. I mean, the safe answer is somewhere in between. And I thought about these A, B, C goals that we were talking about this morning, and I've never really, to be honest, had A, B, and C goals when I've gone to a marathon. And I thought about it, and I thought, really for me, there's one goal, is a goal. And I just want to, get that, anything better than 2:44. I don't really want 2:44.15, to be honest. I would like 2:42, but, that's getting the nitty gritty and, down to the wire there. And that's what the marathon is. That's why it's so exciting, because you really have to get everything spot on. So I'm really excited to try and get as close as I can to just over 2:40. After that session on Saturday, I was kind of like, really it wore me out. I felt very tired afterwards. So I suppose I had a little bit of self-doubt after come in on the Sunday particularly. I thought, how am I going to hold that? And Tina gave me a lovely email and has chatted to me and said, she thinks I'm in good shape. So, I missed a really key session. I missed a 25 by 1 minute, and I was frustrated with that. And I then realised that that's not going to make my marathon. Like, that's not going to be what's going to get me the 2:40 if I miss that. So I, had the rest for a few days, and I think that's why Saturday maybe went a bit better. I felt a bit fresher, despite having this bit of a lagging cough I've had, and I am concerned a little bit about that, but I also believe that it will be gone and I will be okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we can only control what we can control, right? So
that's right. We can only control the controllables. So, yeah.
Exactly. And missing one workout over the scheme of 8 to 12 weeks or whatever it might be, that's not going to, like you said, it's not going to make your marathon. Stacking those weeks, back.
Oh, yeah, it's about consistency. Yeah, that's right. I just had to tell myself, don't be silly. That one session, I would have done the session at not VO2 and it would have frustrated me even more. So I just did my run. I was still able to run. I still got out there and ran. I just had to back off a bit. So not like Simon's recent 1 minute efforts. So to say about Simon, I'm just, I see
Simon,
that. Yeah. What are you doing, man? Like 3 minutes. I'd blow a hamstring doing that, but,
Killing
going off
himself.
topic. I'm just jealous I
Feel
can't
free to
do 3
answer,
minutes.
Simon.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I
Oh,
felt pretty good.
oh. He's on
So I
holidays,
just
isn't
went for it.
he? Are you on holidays?
Yeah, I am on
Yeah.
holidays. I am on
Oh,
holidays. So
oh,
yeah, I'm not having to worry about work currently. So it's all good.
sorry.
Yeah.
Couldn't help myself.
No, that's cool. No, so I think Sam had set you up with a pair of Mizuno Neo Vistas for your training shoes. So I think you mentioned last time they were really great. You've been wearing them, but I guess what will you be wearing for the big dance?
Yeah, I do like the Adidas Adi Zero Pro Force. I think that's the ones. So yeah, I wore those in. I mean, I'm not normally into the Adidas, but I wore them at the Bustleton half, and yeah, I've been converted to those. They just feel really nice and smooth, and I get a nice rhythm going. So I actually bought myself a nice fresh pair. So I'm really excited to put those on. And I've done all my main sessions in those. So I just, yeah, I like the way they feel and my style of running. I think they work well.
What were you wearing in past marathons then, if coming
Yeah.
to this as a new option?
Yeah, so I've never worn this shoe in a marathon. So that is a little bit, I suppose, to do overthink it. However, I've always worn the Nike Alpha Flies, the twos and then the threes. I don't know, that maybe because I didn't have a great run in the threes, they put me off a bit, so it's more me, not the shoes. I can't blame the shoes. However, I just felt like a change and tried these out and really liked them.
Yeah, awesome. That's fantastic. And I guess last episode we also spoke about how many gels you've been consuming. You're consuming them quite frequently
Yeah.
before your runs, easy runs, during your workouts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Have you needed to restock? And is there anything else that you'll be in your kit bag that you'll be bringing with you on race day?
Yeah, I had to call up for a few more. So I've got a few more gels. Thank you so much to Vlad. And they're ready to go. I've hidden them away so Scott can't take them. And I've got them, ready to buy for the morning. I think I'll be trying to aim, every 30 to 40 minutes, have a whole one of those. I seem to kind of sip on it almost because it's liquidy, which I quite like. But then I found myself in a session just getting through half and not like making sure, I need to make sure I have the whole gel. So I was working a bit harder on that aspect. And I will I'll have them in my shorts. I've got big pockets on the side so they can fit two each side. And I'm thinking actually I'll be it's grateful to have the tables out. It's 2 years ago when I got a seated spot. I got a seated spot this year. They have the tables and I can just put my drink there, and I'm gonna strap a gel to the last one. I don't normally like that because I get nervous someone might take my gel. However, I think for that 5K when you go past the start again, the finish and the start, the tables are there. So I will put a spare one there just in case. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I didn't realize you had a seated start. So, yeah, you're obviously amongst the royalty here, guys. But
I just get to use the what's it called, the toilets there. Yeah.
yeah, nice.
Ah,
Very good.
The royal then. Fancy toilets.
Golden throne. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, awesome. Looking forward to seeing how that all comes together. Rosie, following Joondalup, you had some issues with your left leg. You went to go see your physio in West Perth there. And like you had probably a period of about a week or so of reduced load, but seems like the volume and intensity have kind of picked up since then. And you've executed some pretty tough long runs along the way. How's training been over the last few weeks?
Yeah, so much better since last time I spoke to you guys. Just feel like I've got lots of confidence with those long runs. We've had a few kind of focused marathon group sessions with the front runner squad, which I've really benefited from. Also, just the joy of running with people. It just makes things so much easier, and teamed up now with a good friend, and we've done quite a few of our long runs together and just chewed the fat for over 3 hours, running in the dark and keeping each other honest. So yeah, I feel like I've done kind of last 3 weeks, I've done 30 plus Ks. in the Saturday session, yeah, getting dizzy and drenched when I ran past Simon at Gallop at the weekend, which was, I'm going to say character building was the only phrase I can use that's somewhat positive. But just looking for, like, a bit to Lauren's point, just looking forward to getting out there and running, not running in the dark, not running in the wet, the fog, the rain, just the simple things of going to the Gold Coast where even if it's a little bit rainy, it's not going to be dark and it's not going to be as cold as here. So, yeah, really looking forward to getting out there. Been trying a bit of the Bix protein fuel before runs, and that feels good. And I'll definitely just sip on that the days leading up to the race and on race morning, and also kind of really enjoying the Mango Reach daily protein sachets. They just seem super handy, so I need to actually get a few more of them, but loving them. And what else is there happening? Yeah, my race plan, I'm not in a seated wave, but happy to be starting. I'm going to use the forces around me and just sit with the pacing group for the hopefully the 3:10 pacing group, and just let them do the thinking until kind of 35Ks, and then readdress how I'm feeling as to whether I can push on or just stick with them. And look, to be honest, if I stuck with them, I'd be completely over the moon. That would be a big PB. So I'd be really happy in between juggling work, juggling niggles, juggling a bathroom renovation, a child that's coming home with every daycare bug under the sun. I'm just looking forward to escaping reality for a few days on the Gold Coast, if I'm completely honest.
Very good. Are you over there by yourself, Rosie, or are you taking the family?
No, I'm going completely solo. It's a very selfish trip. First night away without my daughter in 4 years. So it's either mum's gone loose or I'll be just crying myself to sleep because I've been missing her so much. But I think it will be the former, and I'll just be enjoying a little bit of a sleep in past 5:30 in the morning. So no, they're staying at home. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. It's an added bonus.
How good! I did see the waterproofings. The waterproofing's gone up in the bathroom, Reno. Are you doing that yourself, or is that something you're getting someone on to do?
We're definitely outsourcing. But actually, Chris, I hear you're a tiler. If you could just come and speed up the tiler we've got here, that would just be awesome. We could have done the podcast here at our house tonight. So yeah, it's a long process. But no, not doing any of it ourselves other than the odd bit of painting when we have to. We are completely clueless, and the block is the only reference I have to home renovations, which has gone really down well with our renovation company.
I mean, Chris has been tiling for the last 3 months, so you wouldn't want Chris tiling your bathroom.
Yeah. Maybe a similar speed to the tiler we've got now. Maybe you've got him on speed dial and just slowing him down.
Maybe he's my twin brother.
Yeah, I've not seen him, so maybe it's you moonlighting at our house during the day. What else? I am gonna stick to my tried and tested SIS gels. I've been running in them the whole block, so I'm gonna definitely lean into the Bix ones. But for now, I know that they work. So plan is to take them every 40 minutes, and the joys of being a girl, I can just stuff them down the front of my bra, and they'll just be neatly rested in there, other than the rest of you guys getting bum bags and things. So that's the bonus that I've got for the day. And I am going to run in my Hoka Mac X2. It was really hard to pronounce last week, so thanks for the help with that one. I've run in them for a few of the quality sessions. They feel really good, so I kind of figure if they feel so good, why look elsewhere? So looking forward to that. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, just looking forward to getting out there and giving it a go. I feel like we've done all the hard yards with the solo wintry sessions here that, I think just a change in scenery will give us all some energy and clear out the immune system and allow us just to execute the plans that we've all set out with our coaches. So excited.
Definitely. No, that's awesome. Has Greenie given you any pearls of wisdom? Obviously, you've got the goal in mind, but is there anything that he's given you to kind of think about while you're running or before you start, or things like that?
I mean, he's pretty tight with his words, but we've definitely talked about just relaxing for the 35Ks, right? The marathon doesn't really start until beyond that. and just following the plan. I've been taking gels like there's no tomorrow for the last couple of months, so kind of feel that we've tried everything up until the day. So yeah, and he's great at kind of comparing where I'm at this time compared to previous marathons, which is also a nice confidence booster. So yeah, just looking forward to kind of having a bit of a taper now, resting up, getting a bit more energy, and just keeping the bugs away.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. Thanks, Rosie. Appreciate you sharing. Karlos, we're off to you, mate. Yeah, look, I think you've had a solid hit out at the on a long course at Perth Ultra Half the other week, the Ultra Half Marathon, as you might call it. Now, how has Rambo switched things up for you in the past couple of weeks, mate?
So after that ultra hit out that I did, we ramped up the mileage. Um, so on that race specifically, I just tried to test out a 328 pace, but it didn't get to a steady 328. It went like up and down, just because of the chaos that happened during the race. So first, there's a Japanese guy that's running a 317s, 315s in the beginning. So to secure a position, I have to follow him. So we started pretty hot on that race, and then somehow we slowed down significantly because we got lost around 14k, 15k, and then at that point, then we tested out the marathon pace when we were finishing in the race. And after that race, pretty much just went through normal training, didn't do any rest week, just try and get marathon fit from there on. So 2 long runs in 1 week, Wednesday and Sunday, and then I will do a session on Tuesday and Friday. All the things that has changed is it's just focus on threshold. In the long runs, a bit hilly.
I was listening to. You and I caught up briefly last Friday, and you mentioned that your Rams team member, Vlad Ixel, you might be kind of running together. And I was listening to a Peak Pursuits podcast this morning, and Vlad seems like he's going out at 225 to 226 pace, but also potentially going out with a 224 pack, which I think is what the elite women's are being paced at. Is the plan to go out with Vlad, mate, or are you gonna maybe do it more conservatively and start around that 230 mark and work your way up?
I didn't know that he's aiming for 224. Okay, it's good to know. That's a pretty hot pace. If we go in 225, that's 326 per kilometer, and 226 is 328, which is I think what I'm capable of. But on a good day, we can, man, there's a chance we can go 224 high. To be honest, I think we're pretty fit. We're feeling fit. It's just that you have to have that day where everything just clicks and the weather is good. There's not much wind. We'll see how I feel. I'll decide. But 226 is kind of like the A goal. But that 224 is kind of a stretch. That's like a big jump from running 231 high to a 224. That's pretty crazy. But I haven't been racing marathons back to back. This is the freshest I've ever felt. All the training, I did everything right. There's no breaks. I did all the sessions correctly. So I don't know. There's a chance there, but Busi, I had a chat with Roberto Busi actually after the session on Tuesday. He said that just go for it, because you'll learn from it. If you blow up, then you learn from it. So it's kind of like I think that I need to remember, maybe 224 might be a chance, but we'll see. Busi is giving me some nuggets on Tuesday. That's a good advice.
He's a very experienced customer, so one to learn from for sure. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, sure, 7 minutes or even 5, 6 minutes is a big jump when you're talking about the numbers that you're coming from. But I think what you ran a 2:32 low at Bunbury last year, basically solo. Or you were solo
It
for
was
the
234.
entirety. What was that? Sorry,
234. 234.
2:34.
Yeah.
No, that was this year, right? I'm talking about last year.
From last year. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you ran like a 2:32, like, and yeah, a 2:34 this year on a day where you were just kind of going out for a steady run. So um, yeah, pretty wild stuff. So yeah, there's no doubt you're going to be able to produce something special on race day, and you, like you said, your training has been way more controlled and refined than it might have been in the past. You're not racing every weekend. You're obviously putting out some serious numbers, both in volume and intensity. On your nutrition side of things, I think last we talked about beetroot juice. You got me onto the sodium bicarbonate a little while back, which I haven't had a chance to use yet, unfortunately, but waiting for the right time. um, because there are some risks associated with that, I believe. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, are there any other tricks you might have up your sleeve for the team that you might be taking with you on race day, mate?
I'll definitely take the beetroot. So I bought some from the running center last week after work. So I had the powdered one, the 5 packs, and then I had some beetroot shots, which are 3 bottles that I'll take this week. So the powder will be 5 days before the race. Um, and also just the usual caffeine, um, good carbs. Yep, Bix, carb mix, and yeah, with the nutrition that I'm planning for the race. Yeah, because I also have a elite start, just like Lauren. Um, I'll be having the Bix powdered um, mix, which is the caffeinated and the non-caffeinated. So I'll just mix it up. I'll plan which distance I will get the caffeinated ones. So I'll just try and write it out, maybe on the weekend, plan it out, and yeah, bring some gels with me as well, with my pockets, just to get all the carbs in whenever I needed. Just pretty basic. Really, just don't change anything. Also, like things that I eat all the time, I'll just eat the same thing. I won't eat any pizza because I've never had pizza during this block. So I'll just eat the rice and the chicken, and I've never had pasta as well during this block, so I might skip the pasta. I'll just eat the rice. That's the way.
Yeah, I did see a video of Izzy Bat Doyle eating just pure white rice before her race at Tokyo a few weeks ago, where she broke the Australian road record for the 10K.
Yeah.
So there is obviously something in keeping it to absolutely pure carbs and avoiding the extra fats and proteins that sometimes the other foods might offer. So yeah, that brings me to the next stage, I guess, guys, is like we're talking about pre-race meals, shakeouts, rituals, things like that. Like in the past, my preferred meals for the 2 nights before a marathon have been pepperoni pizza and 2 scoops of ice cream. I have had problems in the past on the race day, so maybe I need to rethink that. But I'm quite happy with that approach right now because it tastes good. The other factor I like to do, or that I kind of make as part of that ritual, is to get those pizzas from 2 different outlets. And also the ice creams, and one of the ice cream scoops always has to be vanilla. So there's some little quirks to the madness, I guess. The other thing I guess is that I don't like to run for 2 days before my marathon, but I understand this is not everyone's preference. Si, do you want to talk about what you're thinking? Like what your approach to a carb load is, and are you going to be eating white rice or oats or bagels or whatever on race morning?
Well, as an Asian, white rice is a staple in this household, so I will be sticking to white rice all day, every day in the lead up to Gold Coast. So I think that's probably the first trip is to the Asian groceries once I land in Gold Coast is stock up on rice. To be honest, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I think I'll up the carbs in the lead up too, but in terms of the types of food, it's just going to be, like Karlos said, very much the same. I guess in terms of pre-race rituals, we'll probably have a pasta night the night before. I will have one scoop of vanilla ice cream, and that will be plenty for me. And in terms of the morning of, look, it's probably just going to be a bowl of white rice, maybe with something. I'm not like Izzy. I don't think I can just have rice on its own, but rice with something, maybe tuna or something, just to get me by and be raring to go. Last couple of marathons, I have tried the Morton 320 mix just to up the carbs the night before. So I'll probably do that again. So yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it simple. I'll up it up. I think I'll probably do, what's the calculation? Isn't it like 7 grams per kilogram of weight or something along those lines, the rough guide?
7 to 10, yeah, something like that. Yep.
So I'll use that as a guide, but I'm not going to overthink it really. It will be as much as I can sort of muster up without overthinking it. So that'll be my game plan.
Yeah, cool. So no White Monster and Skittles in the morning for you?
No, I'm not going to go full Jackson Lemon, no. So yeah, keeping it simple. I'll have a coffee in the morning but nothing crazy like a White Monster.
Yeah, cool. Easy. How about you, Rosie? I think I think you mentioned you stick with porridge the morning of a long run or a race. I assume that's still the case, but is there anything else that you might be consuming on top of?
Yeah, I'm trying to actually cut down on my fiber. I'm trying to cut down on my fiber for obvious reasons. So trying to limit muesli and porridge, which is just a real inconvenience right now. So I have always, even in triathlon days, pasta and spag bowl has always been my pre-race meal. Lots of white pasta. So that again will be it. And then morning of. Call me a traditionalist or just boring. It's going to be bagels and honey and maybe a banana on the side. I'm definitely not. This is fun, and the idea of eating white rice morning, noon, and night is not fun. So I'm out. If that means me to get to the levels that some of you guys are at, I'll stick in my hour of 3 something because I ain't going white rice for breakfast. Rituals is I've got a pair of lucky shorts, so they're definitely hopefully going to get a run. Literally, I like a little bit of Fixamol tape in anywhere or everywhere that might potentially chafe. I don't feel like you can ever have too less little Fixamol, and because I feel like everyone else is thinking about it, Imodium is also my best friend on the morning, just to keep everything sweet, shall we say?
Yeah,
maybe that's what's missing, Chris. A bit of Imodium. Yeah.
Is it too late to try? I don't know.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to go to the chemist.
So anyway, the conversation has definitely gone below the belt now, hasn't it? Literally.
That's okay. I mean, it's funny because I was as I said, I was listening to Peak Pursuits and Simone, one of the hosts on that podcast, was talking about needing to go for a wee in a race, and she was like, there have been lots of times where I've had to wee in the middle of a race, and it just let it happen because the thought of she's in a position where she's winning races, right? So she doesn't want to stop and go to the toilet and potentially give up the lead. But I've tried in the past to go for a wee when I'm running, and I just can't make it work.
I think it's a mindset thing, right? Just unlock it and let it go.
Yeah, not me. But yeah. Hey, Loz, how about you? What have you got in your history of running marathons? What have you done in the past, and what will you be doing on race day this time around?
I'll be doing the same kind of things. Keep it simple. I feel like you reduce your training loads, so we eat quite a lot. I eat a lot of carbs as it is, but you kind of just eat the same foods and then just up it a little bit. I don't overthink, I don't weigh the foods or think it, like write it out. I just make conscious effort to eat a bit more throughout the days. And I would be drinking. I've also tried to add a bit more, like the mix with the mix in the carb mix. That will give me extra calories, extra carbs, because you actually do. I have actually felt the last few marathons. We call it like a carb headache, and I honestly feel like if I'm eating too much carbs. I mean, I know it's the right. Almost feel like if I get that headache, I know I'm really loading with the carbs. I just want to try and look for something that I can.
Yep.
The drinks are a good idea. So I've tried to have a bit more of the fluids and just make sure you never really get hungry. Just keep eating. White rice, yeah, the white rice is Izzy Backdoor does it. So, and the rice bubbles, all the top Australian girls are all having the boxes of rice bubbles. So here I am at Coles buying all the kids love it. The Cocoa Pops, rice bubbles. I think it's Killer Python's another one of my favourites. I just get a big bag of those. I've been having them in the car and just eating Killer Pythons. The kids know where they are now, unfortunately, so I've got a fun new hiding spot. But yeah, I seem to, I actually do have trouble on the morning. I'm struggling for the past 4 marathons. I just can't seem to chew. It's really weird. So I don't feel nervous. I mean, I do feel like the butterflies and the good nerves. I just can't I tried to get the bagel down last time, even softer like croissant. I just couldn't swallow it. So I'm a little bit, it does. I mean, I think with Gold Coast, it's an early start. So I feel like I will be okay if I load a lot the day before. And then in the morning, I'll have a coffee and try and get something like I don't know, Killer Pythons down. Not a whole bag, but try to get something into me because I do get a bit nervous that my body won't let me eat on the morning. But it is what it is. So the rituals, just the same old things. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess if it means you're eating lollies on the morning of the race, as long as you're getting carbs, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, my body just seems to think it's ready to go, and I don't know why. I struggle to eat on the morning, and in triathlon days, the Ironmans and things, I could eat and I was fine. I'm not sure what it is. I think it could be maybe I am a bit more nervous. Maybe I'm not sure. However, you're right. Any sort of carbs that you get in is fine. Even a banana and a coffee and the drink mix is great too. So that will work. So I'm confident it'll be okay.
Definitely. Do you struggle to sleep the night before a race, or you sleep like a baby?
Yeah, I'm pretty good to sleep actually. Yeah, I think I'm okay, unless I wake up in the night and then I sometimes might overthink some things. However, I sleep pretty well now. Yeah, very good.
Well, while we're on the topic of sleep, we'll get to you now, Karlos, because I mean, last time we spoke with you, you shared with us that you sleep twice a night. So, yeah. What's your sleep like the night before a race, mate? And what are you kind of focusing on? In the morning of a race.
Man, it's always the worst sleep on race day for me. I always get 3 hours or five. Five is the most I always get, especially for a marathon. I don't know. I always get nervous for marathons because it's a long way. Anything like 21K, 10K, I pretty much don't give a shit about it. Like I'll just okay. Like I don't feel nervous. I'm just gonna race whatever. But marathon is like it's hard to get it right. So yeah, I don't really get that like a good sleep. So I'll try to sleep more when I get to Gold Coast. So that's what I will do. So just try and chill. Not much walking around compared to last year, and just relax. And
Yeah. Nice, man. Yeah, I mean, the sleep, the final sleep doesn't really matter all that much, right? Like as long as you're resting and recovering well in the weeks leading up. that final sleep, if it's kind of bound to be bad. And I think a lot of people have spoken about it really only having a very minor impact to performance anyway, like the quality of sleep on that final night. So maranoia, I guess, is our final topic for the evening, and it has been mentioned a couple of times tonight. Simon has been sending screenshots to the Stride King Run Group chat. And it looks like he'll be using osmosis to make up some of his hydration deficit because, I mean, it's a long way out, but the forecast is it looks like it's going to be raining. So I guess how does that play into anyone's, thoughts ahead of race day? Are there things that you're obsessing over or are you kind of happy-go-lucky types with live, laugh, run pictures on the wall in your bedroom? Sai, obviously, I brought you up. You're thinking about it quite a bit.
Because I'm not really doing too much other than refreshing the extended forecast. Unless it's torrential rain, I'm not too stressed about the conditions. I think the humidity I was worried about, but it doesn't seem like the humidity is going to be crazy high or anything. It's probably very similar to Perth weather currently. So I think that's sort of given me a level of confidence. So I think, in terms of my game plan, the weather's not going to be too much of a factor unless it changes significantly next week. The Saturday workout where it was just pouring rain throughout, I mean, that's probably good practice for the worst case scenario anyway. And I was able to hit roughly marathon pace towards the end after the toilet issues. So I think, that's given me some level of confidence leading into it. I think I've said on the weekly episodes that I have practiced, I guess, a bit of self-talk when things get hard. So whether it's, the tide or the fatigue, or perhaps if it is the conditions, I think the self-talk and the things that I'm saying in my head has helped heaps over the last couple of weeks. So, and I think we touched on it at the start of the episode with Todd's passing. I think a lot of Todd's mantras are running through my head currently. So just this idea of it's such a privilege to be able to run marathons and be able to travel to marathons. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to do that. And I think the other thing that I think Tina said to me a couple of weeks ago, and I think she shared this with the group, is one of the things that Todd said was, the pain that you feel in a marathon is just, I guess, the response you get that you are really racing, and you should just relish that opportunity. So I think I'm just going to replay a lot of those sort of mantras in my head when the going gets tough. So I think I'm going into this pretty confident, despite the sweat tests maranoia adding to the mix. But I think I'm still going into it very confident.
Karlos, how about you, mate? Are you a bit of a stress head, or are you pretty chill, mate?
This is why I'm aura maxing right now. I've been remembering all of my training because this is a bit of like what Rosie said. It's a character building type of build up. So after the ultra, I've just been running a lot. Most of our long runs are like really muddy. It was raining. The session, especially like last week on Friday, we did a marathon session. It was so cold and the rain is just crazy. We had to like double layer, and I will just remember all those moments when it got really hard in training, because also Vlad being missing on one of the long runs. I really need him to tow me. I'll just remember, oh, he's here now while we're running. So I'm happy that he'll be in front of me because he's always in front during the long runs. He's he's the king of Helena Valley, man, in Kalamunda. So yeah, that's it. Bow down to the king. But anyway, I just need to remember all those hard work that I've done. Just get the aura as I taper. Um, just try and get the body right. Take some vitamin C. I just bought some pillar vitamin C, the high strength one. Just need to get those to not get sick. I'm like Simon. I'm pretty confident also with this, and the shoes. I think will be also a confident booster because I got an Alpha Fly, and I found out I'm 9.5, which is like a good fit because the 9 are like my the front of the shoe is like really really close whenever I land forefoot. So now, because I get blisters on size 9, especially in the half. In the 10K, I don't. But when I switch to 9.5, it's the perfect fit. So yeah, the gear is all locked in. Training, I've done everything well. So yeah, pretty feeling good. No maranoia at all.
Maybe a touch. Rosie, how about you? Are you the type that's clicking refresh on the weather? Every 30 minutes, or are you trying to keep that in the back of your mind until the day comes?
Yeah, very much keep it in the back of my mind. I didn't even know maranoia was a word until the last couple of weeks with Simon. So there you go, one to add to the list. Yeah, I'm all about controlling the controllables. I feel like any external factors on the day is something that we can't control. So I know that I've run in the rain, the hail, not much of the shine. So yeah, no, it's all, the only way out when the time gets tough is through that finish line. And I think also, it could always be worse. I could be pushing the infamous yellow pram for that marathon, and that would make it a heck of a lot harder. So, I'm there free and easy solo. So that's another little mantra I'll add to the bucket for next Sunday.
How about you? I mean, Simon and I have a friend. His name's Lan, and he wears a mask for like 2 weeks before his goal race. So he's like he's like peak maranoia. Where are you sitting on the scale?
I think I've got a bit better. I used to be really bad. I'm pretty sure. I think, yeah. I mean, when Scott came home with a cold 4 weeks ago, I made him put a mask on. So maybe that was a little bit too much. But it wasn't he. He got sick, and then I was probably. I hit it 4 weeks ago, maranoia before even this week. So I can't lie. Maybe I'm a bit of a stress head at times, especially when it comes to my running. And working with the kids at school, I've got to say, like, they're junior primary. However, I'm on edge a little bit with even a ball getting hit in my shins. So yeah, I'm probably in the middle. I wouldn't say you might think higher, but yeah, at the end of the day, you have to trust the process. Trust what you've done, and I feel that, yeah, as Rosie said, it controllables. Like, what can we control? And we can control a lot of things. So we just have to focus on those things. So yeah, it's probably really haven't answered the question, but yeah, I can't help myself. My personality is probably a little bit to be worried at times. I've got a lot better though, so I'm proud of that.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's about learning from past experiences and trying to manage those kind of feelings and emotions and also all those things ahead of race day. But, if it means staying out of yard duties for a couple of weeks before the race at school and avoiding a ball to the head, then, yeah.
Yeah, just be a bit
We're all good.
more on guard, and don't get too close to your own kids when you have to read them a story.
Yeah, exactly. Look, guys, I think that's actually a pretty good place to wrap it up for this week. Thank you all for taking part in this training series for the past 3 weeks. It's been awesome to hear all of your stories, learn more about you, and no doubt the listeners will be appreciative of that too. I'm massively excited to see how you all go. Very confident for all of you because you've nailed your training all the way through, and hoping that we see maybe a little bit of rain at the Gold Coast, but hopefully it's also raining PBs, and we're all aura maxing come the 6th of July. So, yeah, look, for the listeners, remember to use code WARP for 20% off your next purchase of Bix and Reach products. Warp 15 will get you 15% off online purchases at the Running Centre. You can get in touch with us at WA Running Pod on Instagram or WA Running Podcast at gmail.com. And our Strava club is Warp. Lauren, Rosie, Simon, Karlos, good luck for your runs next week. And we'll see you next time on the road to paradise.
See you guys. Good luck.
All the
Thanks,
best, guys.
Chris.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a good run, everyone. Safe travels.
Carlos, how much bicarb would you consume pre-race day?
9.
What's that? 9?
I don't know. That's a lucky number. Just not over 18.
Okay. The Road to Paradise Gold Coast training series is brought to you by the Running Centre. Whether it's the latest shoes, nutrition gear, or their personalised biofit process to help pick the right shoe for you, the experts at TRC are the ones to trust to help you achieve your running goals. Use code WALT15 for 15% off your purchase via the TRC online store, excluding electronics and nutrition. The Running Centre. Let's move together.